Hello everyone, Monica Morgan here. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today I have 10 cards from one kit for you from the Spellbinders 2019 July card kit of the month. And I left some of my mistakes in there to show you how I handled them. But if you could just leave me a comment and let me know which one you like, I would really appreciate it. I do put a lot of effort into my cards, and I really would appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy the show. Well, this is actually my second card because the first one is in the box opening video. And I chose a piece of paper. It's actually a complete scene. And because there's two pieces of paper the same and two pieces of ephemera the same in this month's kit, I'm going to make all of my cards double. So you're actually going to get 20 cards. So right now I'm just gluing the two pieces together, the paper and the card base. And I'm using some wet glue and I'm smudging it a little bit with my finger to avoid getting any lumps. And this month's kit was really easy to use. There was a lot of good ephemera. It all went well together. The colors were all harmonious and pleasing, and it was just very, very soothing, fun kit to work with. And I got through like the first 6 cards, except for the first one, really fast. So I'm just choosing which way I'm going to position things, and I'm picked a sentiment that says, sending you oceans of love. And the plan is to heat emboss it with silver heat embossing powder. So I'm going to stamp it with some Versamark ink. I dab it with a little bit of baby powder. Right there. That's my little homemade thing. And then I put some silver heat embossing powder on it. And I can see right away, this is not going to work. So I have to go back and re-ink it and put some blue heat embossing powder on top of it. I got that powder with a set of, I think, like 5 bottles at Joann's, I believe. I don't know the brand, though. And then I got the gems out, and I'm going to use them in place of the pearls. And that second one, the glue dot got stuck to the plastic, but I was able to get it off and use it. And then I just raised everybody up with some foam tape that I have. I did end up only using 1 mermaid per card, and I saved the other ones for some other cards. But these cards are fun. This kit is really going to be fun. All right, so for my third card, I like this pattern paper. I always like florals. I wanted to dig into the foam stickers, so I got that out, and then I got this paper out, and I like it, but I'm gonna try and get as much of an impact out of it as I can. So I cut it apart very carefully through all the foil wavy lines, and I'm getting a cool effect. So I like that. So now I'm gonna trim these down to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. I got my card bases ready. I don't know, sometimes I put it on the paper, sometimes I put the glue on the card. I just don't have a system that's consistent, but it works. So I glued that down. So now I'm starting to lay down the layers. So I started to tuck that piece in, and I realized, oh wait, there's another piece of ribbon. I don't know what else to call it. Another piece of, ribbon that I can use, and I could get that out of 2 of them. So each card will now have 3 accents, and they're both going to be a little bit different. I love the way that this worked out. Yeah, that was fun. So I put all of those together. Now I really still haven't figured out what I'm going to put on there, but I'm looking for a focal point and a way to orient it, and I love those mermaids, so I decided I'm going to use them. That's kind of cute, though, that narwhal in the ocean. I didn't do it, but it's cute, huh? Well, you can maybe use that for inspiration. Just trimming off the edges. And I'm just not liking the background. I want to focus in on the focal point, the mermaid, and just trying to put something behind her to make her pop. And I finally decided to get out my die cutting machine and cut a piece of a circle and cut a circular oval out of the yellow paper that came in the pack, and it pulls the yellow that's on the card so it matches really good. And that worked out really easy to finish them both off. I used both sentiments from the stickers, the foam stickers, and both of the mermaids are the foam mermaids. That looks so much better. And it pulls in all the yellow from the floral pattern paper that's on those cards. So I gave her the bubbles, and then this one I thought needed something, so I gave her the stars. I live in Las Vegas. That looks like the old Stardust Hotel. The lights from their big neon sign. Anyway, that's that card. I hope you like it, and let's go on to the next one. So I'm starting this card halfway through because basically all I am doing is mounting layer upon layer upon layer. And I used the mermaid paper that was in the pattern pack, and then some of my own white cardstock, thin, and then some of the blue cardstock that came in the kit. And I fiddled around with a couple of ideas from the white foam word stickers, but I liked the big entire sentiment complete with artwork from the foam stickers. I like that foam sticker pack a lot. I think I used almost everything so far. And then I just accented it with the hearts and the stars that came there with the white letters. And that's it for those two cards. This card is probably my favorite out of the whole kit and caboodle. I took the pattern paper and I cut it so that I could have the top be like a spray, like a peacock feather in the back. And then I had the leftovers. I had to kind of piece the middle. I lost some footage. And then I found this piece of paper that worked great because it's kind of like the lines go from the middle outwards, and then they spray upwards and outwards and downward and outwards. Kind of. You can see what I'm saying. But I took the girls and I put them on there, and they look like little showgirls. I just think it's so cute. It actually reminds me of a costume that I used to wear years and years and years, 100 years ago. But so I gave them each a little belt. Well, first I mounted everything onto the back of the card bases. I really, really like this design. Can you tell? So I got them on there, and then I gave them their little belts. And then I added some gems to their headdresses. The part that got cut, the footage that got cut, I remember now, was the, I had to cut the head twice and then just cut apart or cut out the part for the headband part. It actually is like a bathing cap. We used to wear them. They were called skull caps underneath the big old hat. And then I wanted them to be a little bit different. So I gave this one silver. Now we got to decorate their clothing and give them little bras. You got a boob job. Some people are going to love me and some people are not, but that's who I am. Ta-da! There's our little girl, and then I just give them a little white dot in their eyes, and they come to life, and I'm so happy with those. The ones, those are my favorites. Awesome. Okay, let's see what else I can do. So guess what? I decided to make another mermaid card. And I decided to make my own background, and I used some Distress Oxide inks. I'm really starting to enjoy working with these inks and making my own backgrounds. I wanted to add to my background, and I love those stamps, those seaweed stamps. I'm probably going to use them on a few other projects, but I got out some of these inks. I get them on the way out the door from Michael's. They're $2 each. And they didn't really show up that well, but if you look closely, you see them. And I like subtlety. So I went over it once in green and once in blue. And those inks are called Studio G. They're pigment inks. I wanted to see if my background was drying. Not at all. So no heat embossing on that card. When I found that hashtag fearless, it just fit perfect. So I realized I didn't do 2 cards, so I had to go back to the drawing board and make another background. I tried to follow the same area and the same color so they would be similar. See, there's another mermaid. I didn't want to waste her. But she needs a sentiment, and she needs her seaweed background. So the first row in green. I'm looking forward to using that specific stamp and the bubbles in another card. So I add them to my second card. So now I'm going to trim my panels down to size. They were a little bit bigger than A2 size card. I like to do that. I believe these are on Crystal Booth. Man, I'm doing malaprop, and they're not even malaprop. I'm doing spoonerisms crazy. Crystal, what did I say? Totally lost my train of thought. I had to trim them down to size. They were on Bristol Smooth cardstock, and that gives me a little bit of room so that the color can go all the way to the edge when I cut it. Smile. I think my plan was to have a smile from the stamp set, and I never got back to it. Oops. So I finally got everybody figured out where I want to put them, and I love these shape of stars. I love those. So I put those on the card with the word smile, and then on the Fearless one, I added some of the purple stars and a blue one. And I had that piece of seaweed, ephemera seaweed from before. Did I just show 2 of them? I didn't put one on the second card ever. So I put that piece of seaweed / ephemera on that card. And I still feel like it needed something else, and I kept looking for stuff. I finally remembered I have some trim that I bought. Oh, I need to mount it to my base cards. But I bought some trim. There it is. It's actually for nails. I bought a bunch of it, and it looks really pretty. So I put that on both cards. And I did it before I mounted the cards to the bases because it's not that sticky, and I need to wrap it around the back and then secure it with Scotch tape. So I did a purple one and a silver one. I kept looking for those strips I see in the Love from Lizzie card kits on YouTube. I can't find those anywhere. So I thought these would work, and they do. They actually work really good. So I added the striping tape, I guess I'll call it, to the other card. Just making sure it's straight. And once again, I turn it over, and I secure it with some Scotch tape. See how it already flipped off? So that's those 2 cards. I really like the way these ones came out, too. So I mount it on the card base, and there you go. 2 more beautiful cards. For card number 6, I'm going to make a birthday card for people in sobriety, and that's who I make my cards for. But this one came out so cute. Wait till you see the end of it. Oh, and if you didn't know, some parts of the country, when you have a sobriety anniversary, they call it a birthday. And I found, I wanted to make a square card, and I have a bunch that I bought, so I was just showing you all that right there. So I used my little yellow bone folder to press the crease a little bit better. It wasn't quite as much as I like. And now I'm just positioning the triangle and the circle to go on the front of the square card. I want it to be exactly center. But what I didn't think about was that I wanted to stamp the triangle part, so now I'm going to have to mask it off. Do you guys ever do stuff like that? So I go ahead and mask it off, and then I'm testing the color of the ink that I want to use. It's a very soft pale because the kit comes with 2 seashells. One is like the outline, and one is the solid part of it. So I use that really soft pink. I think it's a Hampton Arts ink. I'm not sure. And then for the outline part, I'm using 2 Distress inks. They're not oxides. They're the little ones. And I kind of made a blend from one color to the other. See how I'm using just part of the stamp. I'm covering it with one ink and then the other there. That looks good. So I got both cards done, and I'm taking off the masking tape. and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So I love the narwhal and the sentiment. I have to use Shellabrate because that's why I did the shells on there. And I'm loving the seaweed going around in the circle because I started losing the AA symbol, right, without keeping the circle kind of obvious. And I realized I don't have enough greenery. So I cut some more out of pink, out of the pattern paper that had shells on it. And I'm going to go pink, green, pink, green. And I dug out some candles. This is from last month's Spellbinders kit, but I had an idea. And that is to make the horn a candle. So I cut the candles to be able to fit right on top of the narwhals. And this one I thought I'll just give it a flame instead of the whole candle because they look like candles, you know, they're little striped, diagonal stripes on them. And then for whatever reason, I don't remember, I was removing this one. I think I glued it way too low and it left a mark when I removed it. And I'm like, ugh. So I tried to cover up the mark and I brought out some Copic markers that I thought would work and it didn't. It just kind of went over it a little bit. So then I realized I'm going to have to color the whole narwhal. And then when I put it on the card, I realized I've completely ruined the color palette. Now what am I going to do? Just finished finishing up these two cards, but I don't think I was recording. So what I did was I put the candles on this one. This is the one that one of the foam stickers, and because I ruined the other one, and thank God there was one in there. And then I added a candle, and then Shellabrate didn't. I didn't have the proper ink, the exact ink, so I mixed. First, I stamped with this cracked pistachio, and then with broken china, and it came out really close. Well, I was looking at this one. I didn't realize that the second one didn't need this color green because it's a different one. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. So that's that one. For these two cards, I chose the pattern paper, the confetti page, looks like confetti from the paper pack, and I trimmed it to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it'll cover the whole surface of the card. So I put my tape runner on the base this time. It works whichever piece you put it on. Normally I put it on the paper. Today I chose the base. I like how I line those up that way. It works pretty good. So I got that done. And now I have some hearts that I'd cut out earlier with my dies I've had forever. And these tags I had made for the card previous, but I decided not to use them. And the pink is too much, so I'm pulling that out so that the color matches a little bit better. And the sentiment says, "My besties help me be my best self." So I thought it would be cute to add a few besties on there. And my plan for this part is to have the outer frame, the outer heart frame, be glued down to the card base flat, and then have the inner heart, you guessed it, raised with foam squares. I remember when I did this, I pulled that strip of foam squares out from my stash, and I ended up with exactly 6 pieces per card. It surprised me. Wow, magician. Sorry about my head, but I wanted to make sure it was lined up dead center. Got that part done. I thought about raising the tag, but I knew I was going to use all these little critters, so I didn't want to have it too high. And I wanted a little bit of difference in the levels of the tag and the little critters. And I chose the critters because the sentiment says, "My besties help me be my best self." So it's kind of cool. They're all there helping each other. And I trimmed off the length of the tag, the ribbon that I had on the tag. And then I just assembled everything. And then I glued the stars that I had pulled out from the kit, and I found that extra fish. It's a little busy, but it's a cute card. All right, the next one I really like. And for my 9th card, I chose some of the yellow cardstock that I hadn't used yet, and I like the striped paper that came in the paper pack. So I'm just trimming both of them back and forth until I find the sizing that I'm happy with. Yeah, that's a little too fat. I want the yellow panel to be thinner. I think I end up doing it 3 inches. Yeah, I like that one a lot, that size. I like this layout. I do this layout often. That got too busy. That was crazy. What was I thinking? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I remembered I have my striping tape. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm adhering the yellow to the pattern paper, and I'm going to have to trim that on the top there, but that's fine. It's a great little touch, this nail stuff. I'm thinking about putting my own card kits together. Nothing special, maybe like 10 of them or 20 of them, and sell them on my Etsy shop, because I have a lot of cool stuff. I could make about 10 of them. And I love this sentiment, complete with artwork from the paper, from the ephemera. And I dug out my favorite flowers that I've had for a while. I'm going to run out of them sooner or later. These little paper flowers with this rhinestone in the center. They're so pretty. And they kind of match what was on the die cut. And I'm putting that little panel onto the card bases. It's simple is always the best. It just always works out good. It leaves a lot of white space, this design. And I made use of their little foam squares that come in the kit. I usually forget about them, but they were perfect for these little flowers. And those I'm just going to adhere straight down with some glue. Again, working on the 2 different layers of dimension. Well, 1 different layer. I looked over and I noticed I had a few of these leaves in my little container of discards, and I had just the right amount to accent these little flowers and just the right color. So I made use of those. It was a happy little accident. Yeah, that looks really cute. I really like these ones. I say that on every card, don't I, though? These ones are kind of classic. They've got a classic look to them, I would say. All right, let's see what I can do for my last card. And for the final card, I had to use that mermaid skin paper and the little tag, and I'm going to put Sending Magic and Sending Love, but I'm going to use Distress Inks Mermaid Lagoon, of course, and a little bit of peacock feather. I kind of blended the 2 together on that little tag. And I really only have 1 chance. Yes, I got that one good. And then I'm going to do the second one. Not so perfect, but I'll live with it. I make a little bit of jewelry here and there. And these are jump rings, and I'm going to attach a little charm to each card. I think it's a great idea. Look how many I got. I chose the mixed pack. There were 5 choices, and they ranged in price from, I think, I'm looking at it, $5.99 up to $8.99, and there were different themes. Like one was sea animals, one was all animals, one was mixed. The one I chose, Halloween, jungle. You should go over there. I'll put a link in the description for you. But I'm sure it's going to increase the value of my cards, and since I sell them, it's a great idea. The only thing is I wish I'd stamped the word sending a little bit lower on the tag part, but I'll live with it. And I just mounted those up with some foam and tilted it in a way so that when the card is standing straight up and down, the mermaid doesn't cover the word sending. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Those are big, round foam dots, and they're pretty high. They have a lot of height to them. And I've told myself I got to start using up the stuff that I have, because it'll go bad on you, actually. The sticky will go away after a while. Just poking out the inside pieces of the word love. And I'm going to trim it because it's way too long. And putting on there, and that's it. I want to leave them alone. I'm telling you, the simplest ones are the best. I didn't think I was going to like these, and now I really do. Crazy how that happens. Well, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. I put a lot of work into these cards, and I would love to know what you think. Bye.